It's midnight, you're watching Nightline. I'm Brendan Wong. Your top stories. Eateries and convenience stores allowed to operate until 12 midnight, beginning Wednesday. And Musa Aman acquitted of all 46 charges of corruption and money laundering. Good morning. All restaurants and food outlets are now allowed to operate until 12 midnight under the Recovery Movement Control Order. However, Senior Minister for Security, Datuk Ismail Sabri said strict standard operating procedures SOPs will have to be adhered to at all times.
Oleh itu, mesyuarat khas telah bersetuju untuk membenarkan restoran, gerai-gerai makan dan semua perniagaan menjual makanan. Outlet yang menjual makanan ini untuk beroperasi sehingga jam 12 malam. Namun harus ditegaskan penjarakan sosial dan SOP yang telah pun ditetapkan sebelum ini perlu dipatuhi sepenuhnya. Kedai-kedai serba nikah dan runcit yang dulunya beroperasi 24 jam, kini kita benarkan beroperasi sehingga 12 malam. Bukan lagi 24 jam. Banyak kedai-kedai convenience store yang dulunya 24 jam. Sekarang ni pukul 10. Kita benarkan tambahan masa 2 jam sehingga pukul 12 malam.
Previously, under the Conditional Movement Control Order, food operators were only allowed to operate until 10 p.m. Additionally, suraus in shopping malls and highway rest stops are also allowed to reopen. The operation will be subjected to SOPs. For those who want to use the facilities, they must practice self-discipline such as social distancing and cleanliness. The stores at rest stops, other than food outlets, can also now operate. Police will end all roadblocks starting Wednesday during the Recovery Movement Control Order and will begin to focus on enforcing the Standard Operating Procedures, SOPs. Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri said the move is under a new action plan of the latest phase of the MCO until August the 31st.
Mana hari ini adalah hari terakhir untuk sekatan jalan raya rentas negeri kerana besok bermulalah kebenaran untuk rentas negeri. Jadi tidak ada keperluan lagi walau bagaimanapun untuk kes-kes lain seperti ops benteng, kes tentang sekatan untuk memantau jenayah dan sebagainya, jenayah lain akan tetap diteruskan oleh pihak PDRM seperti biasa. Selepas ini, PDRM akan menumpukan kepada pematuhan SOP, sama ada di premis perniagaan dan kawasan awam, dan juga melalui pasukan petugas khas pemantauan PKPP di daerah yang melibatkan agensi yang berkaitan seperti Angkatan Tentera Malaysia, Rela dan APM.
The monitoring will involve shopping malls, night markets and other venues that have SOPs in place. On the compliance level, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri said police had issued compounds to a total of 77 individuals nationwide on Monday for violating the SOPs of the Conditional Movement Control Order. A total of 94 individuals were remanded in connection with breach of the SOPs. Plus Malaysia Berhad Plus is anticipating a spike in daily traffic of up to 15% on its highways when the Recovery Movement Control Order comes into effect today. Plus Managing Director Datuk Ismail said the Recovery MCO will further boost the surge in daily traffic on its highways, which had recorded an increase since the conditional MCO was enforced on May the 4th, surpassing the 1 million mark on weekdays. In a statement on Tuesday, Datuk Aman said they were ready to receive motorists and vehicles on their highways as the Recovery MCO paves the way for people to travel interstate. According to him, Plus is prepared for the increase, which is expected to be between 10 and 15% per day from the first weekend of the Recovery MCO on June the 12th, 13th and 14th. During the pre-MCO, Plus managed a daily flow of traffic of over 1.6 million vehicles. Dato' Azman said PLUS was optimistic that the recovery MCO will boost the country's economy with the reopening of more commercial sectors, especially with interstate travel being allowed. Rapid Rail Sendirian Berhad cannot come up with its own regulations in line with the Recovery Movement Control Order. Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri said any changes to the Standard Operating Procedures SOPs or regulations must have the approval of the National Security Council NSC.
Rapid Rail ni tidak ada kuasa untuk mengubah dasar ataupun peraturan yang ditetapkan oleh kerajaan. Apabila kerajaan menetapkan perlu ada social distancing ataupun penjarakan sosial di dalam rail mana-mana, mereka tidak boleh dengan sewenang-wenangnya mengubah apa yang telah pun ditetapkan oleh kerajaan. Kalau mereka ingin membuat sebarang perubahan, mereka perlu memohon daripada MKN untuk membuat sebarang perubahan. Bukan tiba-tiba umum mengikut apa yang mereka rasa perlu umum. Kita faham masalah mereka apabila social distancing dilaksanakan, terdapat pengurangan dari segi jumlah penumpang. Ini meningkatkan kos mereka. Kos ini bukan saja di peringkat rail, di peringkat kereta api, MRT, LRT dan sebagainya, tetapi juga pesawat penerbangan. Apabila kita menghadkan 66% saja pesawat ini boleh membawa penumpang, mereka juga mengalami kerugian. Tetapi kita faham dan kita sedang bincang perkara ini.
The Indian Minister was responding to Rapid Rail's statement early on Tuesday that there will be no more social distancing measures on Rapid KL trains and stations beginning today, saying that the SOP by the Transport Ministry allowed for a 100% capacity of passengers on all rail services except ETS and KTM intercity. In an immediate reaction, Rapid Rail, as the operator for services under Rapid KL, said it will continue to abide by social distancing rules and policies set by the government that involves the LRT, MRT and monorail. In a statement, the operator said the policy will be implemented until the government makes a new decision on the matter. It further appealed to passengers to follow the set policies and work together with Rapid KL personnel at the stations. Passengers are called on to plan their journeys as the number of users will increase. The company said it appreciates all comments and views on the operation of the urban rail services. On the Health Ministry's daily COVID-19 update, Malaysia recorded 281 patients discharged, the highest number to date. Disclosing this on Tuesday, Health Director General Dato' Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah further noted that the nation recorded another single-digit increase in cases, with 7 new cases and no fatalities.
Daripada 7 kes baru yang dilaporkan hari ini, 6 kes adalah kes import yang mendapat jangkitan daripada luar negara. Sukacita dimaklumkan bahawa pada hari ini tiada kes penularan dalam negara dicatatkan di kalangan warga negara Malaysia. Satu kes penularan di dalam negara adalah seorang pekerja bukan warga negara, iaitu kes saringan untuk mula bekerja.
Malaysia's COVID-19 recovery rate is now at 83.7% out of the total number of positive cases. There are now 1,244 active cases being treated at the country's health facilities. Currently, there are 6 patients being treated at the intensive care units and only 1 person on ventilator support. The decision on whether Malaysia will send pilgrims for the Hajj season this year will be announced on Thursday. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Dato' Sri Dr. Zulkifli Muhammad Al-Bakri, said the Standard Operating Procedures SOPs on congregational and Friday prayers during the Recovery Movement Control Order will also be announced on Thursday.
Untuk haji pun sama, kita akan umumkan pada hari Khamis ni, insya-Allah.
Several countries, including Indonesia and Singapore, have previously decided to defer the Hajj season this year for health and safety reasons following the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Zulkifli said special and formal discussions will be carried out with relevant authorities on the policy that will be implemented, including on the status of Hajj pilgrimage and congregational prayers. After the break, outcome of BPN appeal to be known soon. This and more when we return. Welcome back. Some updates on the Bantuan Prihatin Nasional, BPN. Finance Minister Datuk Seri Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz said the result of the BPN appeal will be released next week and the date will be announced soon. The Finance Minister said this when presenting the 8th Laksana report on the progress of the Prihatin implementation on his Facebook page on Tuesday.
Pertama, Bantuan Prihatin Nasional atau BPN. Secara keseluruhannya daripada 10.6 juta penerima yang diluluskan, seramai 10.04 juta telah dibayar dengan jumlah bayaran sebanyak 10.78 bilion ringgit ataupun 96.7%. Selebihnya, penerima boleh menuntut di cawangan BSN sehingga 31 Disember 2020.
On the Employees Provident Fund EPF I-Lestari program, he said as at June the 5th, the number of applications approved increased to 4.1 million compared with 4 million previously. The total payout involved was 1.94 billion ringgit a month. On the EPF's employee contribution reduction from 11% to 7%, he said as at June the 5th, over 5.7 million workers opted to continue reducing their contribution. He said the total EPF contribution deduction from members to date accounted for 1.87 billion ringgit, while the total number of contributors who chose to keep their contributions at 11% was now 1.85 million. The Malaysian Palm Oil Board, MPOB, is collaborating with Greentech, Techbond Greentech Sendirian Berhad to produce palm-based polyol, which will be used in polyurethane adhesives to replace formaldehyde-based adhesives. With the introduction of polyol technology, Techbond Greentech will now produce sustainable palm oil-based polyol for the production of new industrial-grade polyurethane adhesives and ultimately commercialize the product. MPOB Chairman Datuk Ahmad Jazlan Yaakob, who witnessed the signing ceremony, said the joint venture is a win-win situation for the research and commercialization of palm-based polyol products that could potentially be used in polyurethane adhesives. The agreement involves 2 stages, namely research and development to produce polyurethane adhesive formulations, followed by commercialization of the technology. Datuk Ahmad Jazlan said the involvement of the industry and local companies in the commercialization of technology developed by MPOB has accelerated the progress of the downstream sector of the palm oil industry for the production of value-added palm-based products that generate high income. Now on to our headlining story. Former Sabah Chief Minister Tan Sri Musa Aman has been acquitted of all 46 criminal charges against him involving corruption and money laundering relating to timber concessions. Kuala Lumpur High Court Judge Muhammad Jamil Hussein made the decision during case mention on Tuesday after the prosecution said it was withdrawing all charges against the former Chief Minister. The prosecution was represented by Deputy Public Prosecutor Azhar Abdul Hamid. Tan Sri Musa, who was Chief Minister from 2003 to 2018, claimed trial to 35 corruption charges on November the 5th, 2018. Of these, 5 were subsequently dropped. He was accused of receiving bribes of between $28,500 and $16,148,547 from various individuals 12 to 16 years ago. He was also slapped with 16 money laundering charges for allegedly receiving $37 million from various individuals and companies from June 2006 to March 2008. In other news, Pulau Pinang police crippled 2 drug syndicates with the arrest of 5 suspects, including the mastermind, and seized drugs worth some 1.2 million ringgit in a 2-day operation. State Police Chief Datuk Sahabuddin Abdul Manan said the suspects were arrested in several raids carried out by the State Police Contingent and Seberang Perai Tengah Narcotics Crime Investigation Department since last Friday. He added one of the two syndicates was led by Myanmar nationals.
Hasil sebulan tersebut, pihak polis telah berjaya menangkap 3 lelaki dan 1 perempuan warga negara Myanmar dan merampas 2,980 gram heroin base, 8,493 gram shabu dan 14,000 biji pil WY yang dianggarkan bernilai RM810,831.
The second syndicate, masterminded by a local 29-year-old, saw police seize 4,533 grams of synthetic drug-laced drinks, 20 ecstasy pills and 90 Aramin 5 pills worth 465,500 ringgit. Altogether, police seized an assortment of drugs worth 1.27 million ringgit from both raids, cash totaling 87,180 ringgit, 2 cars worth 39,000 ringgit and about 1,000 ringgit worth of jewellery. The 5 people from both raids have been remanded until June the 12th to assist investigation. Probe is being conducted under the Dangerous Drug Act 1952. In Perlis, a 63-year-old painter was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, which led to an accident injuring a motorcyclist on May the 31st this year. The accused, Kang Jin Kong, pleaded not guilty when the charge was read at the Kanga Magistrates Court before Magistrate Kamaliza Mat Zain. He was charged under the Road Transport Act 1987. Kang faces a fine of between 8,000 and 20,000 ringgit and a jail term of up to 10 years with his driving license revoked upon conviction. The court set bail at 7,000 ringgit with one surety and suspended his driving license until the case is over. The magistrate set August 27th for case remention. Now let's take a look at the highlights in Malaysia's main newspapers for Wednesday, June the 10th. The New Straits Times congratulates the nation's frontliners as Malaysia recorded 0 locally transmitted COVID-19 cases on Tuesday. A report on Rohingya trafficking in Langkawi takes the front page of Malaysia's best-selling Malay newspaper, Harian Metro. Berita Harian headlines the reminder by Health Director General Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham for every Malaysian to ensure self-discipline as the nation enters a recovery phase. While the Malaysian Reserve features a special report on the struggle for petrol stations to stay afloat due to stickly cash flow. Do get your copies today or subscribe to the e-paper. As the Conditional Movement Control Order MCO expires on Tuesday and the recovery MCO comes into effect, the Nightline team would like to take this opportunity to once again thank our frontliners for their dedication and hard work. I'm Brendan Wong. Thank you for watching.